Welcome to your Microsoft Dynamics community. Uh, Welcome to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platform user group. This is our second event of the Pakistan user group. First of all, I will be talking about in terms of the agenda, and then I'll talk about brief introduction of the user group. From there, we will share who are the group leaders and what we are planning to do, what's our intentions. We will also share some ideas, some news, and some events, uh, and then we will hand over to uh, Fawad Khan. Before I say anything, I would really like to thank Mr. Fawad Khan for giving us this opportunity and for staying that long at their time and serving the community and going beyond their uh, uh, beyond their limits. So I would really like to thank Mr. Fawad Khan, and with this one, I also would like to thank Dynamic Communities who has actually given us this platform, who has provided me all the support to have this group for Pakistan. So, few of people you may want to know what's the reason behind this group, why we have this group. So these are a few bullet points which may help you to understand your answer. And we have posted the same agenda, same theme of the group onto the Microsoft Dynamics user group on for Pakistan. So we will be sharing all the links at the end of the presentation where you can join the group easily. What we have posted the same user group theme on our website. So basically it shows our intention, what we are planning to do. So what we want people to learn about Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platform products. We want to have users at one single place so that they can connect with the wider platform with different professionals and learn about releases and the upcoming features of Microsoft Dynamics and Power Platform. We also aim to build a community in Pakistan that will help members to grow their knowledge and network and experience with the whole ecosystem. So this will be a place where you can come forward, you can talk to any of the group volunteers, you can talk to myself, uh, and you can talk to other group leaders, and we are able to help you in any stage. With this, in terms of our first user group, and it's me, my name is Faisal Farid. I'm working as a Dynamic 365 technical architect. I'll be presenting this Pakistan user group globally and connecting different communities, different user groups across the globe with Pakistan. I have 13 years of experience in Microsoft Dynamics 365 and a very less than a year experience in Power Platform. This is where I'm still learning. You can find me on all social media and professional channels, include my YouTube channels, my LinkedIn, and I do write my blogs. You can touch base with me on that one. You can always message me on LinkedIn if you want to have anything to discuss about the community involvements and upskilling yourself. We are very honored to have Mr. Yawar Iqbal as a second group leader. He has been in industry for almost 13-14 years, and he has been working as a Microsoft Dynamics from a consulting point of view and also a solution architect. He will also be working along with me to upskill all the people and to enhance the this users group. If you want to reach out to Mr. Yawar Iqbal, you can reach out to on this shared information. Mr. Yawar is also on a call with us right now, so you can message him. You can ask any questions. Feel free to ask at any time. Most important thing, which is the agenda or aim of having this particular user group. One can do nothing if we have to work hard. We have to work in a community, and we have to work together. So try to get involved into this user group. If you are a person who love to write blogs, who love to write share articles on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, anywhere. So these are few hashtags which will help us to support the community and enhance the visibility of our own user group. So the main hashtag which I have specified here is Pakistan D365 user group. So feel free to use and tag this one in order to share all the information. And now, if you want to join, very easy way. These are the three different ways. Eventually, the end result is same. You can join in either of the three connections. You can directly go log into your Dynamic 365 user group Pakistan. You just have to sign up. If you have a sign up as of now, you just have to create a new user. It may take 1 or 2 minutes and then join the community. That's it. So you will get all the notifications for the upcoming events automatically. We are also hosting all those events. We are sharing all the invites on TeamUp, Meetup, and then you can also join our Meetup group there. We also have a company LinkedIn page. You can also join that one. You can follow this page whenever we will have any new upcoming updates and sessions. You will get notified. You will never miss those ones. Very simple, three ways. We also have lined up upcoming sessions here. Initially, it's going to happen on 26th of October, end of this month. And we got Mohsin and Ramesh. They both are in Pakistan, and they will be talking about Power Automate and the Microsoft Azure DevOps, respectively. So please stay tuned and do join us onto this particular event too. With that one, I would like to hand over to Fawad, and we can take it there. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Fawad bhai.
Okay. People, especially joining from Pakistan too. I'm being cognizant of lower bandwidth issues. Probably that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and assalamu alaikum. I want to talk about communities, but before I get into that, I want to thank Faisal here for this wonderful effort that he's putting in to bring everybody together and make sure that we can help each other, we can connect, we can learn, and we can share. That's the whole idea of what a community is. At least when I think of communities, it's all about learning, sharing, and connecting at the same time. So Faisal, thank you for this effort. And Yawer, thank you very much for co-leading this effort with Faisal and making sure that all of us are connected over here and we are learning together and growing.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
I have I have a deck that I want to go through, so I'm going to share my screen. If at any time, Faisal, can you keep an eye, please, in the IM window? If there are any questions coming, feel free to stop me. But if you have any question, or we can absolutely take any questions at the end of my presentation. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Wonderful. So let's see. Let me see if I can share first. All right. Okay, give me a second here. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you see my title slide, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. So I want to talk about Dynamics 365 and Power Platform communities. And I'm going to talk about online communities. These are Microsoft-based communities that exist. and how you all can go and take advantage of that, because access to these communities is free. I want to talk about some learning resources for some of you, and basically give you an idea how you can stay connected and be learning at the same time, and learning about the latest and greatest things that are coming out of these two platforms, basically Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. Okay, so just let's see. Let me see how. Okay, just a little bit about me. I'm at Microsoft. Have been there for 15 years. I'm based in Seattle, in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and I'm active on social media. I have my handle there. I'm also on LinkedIn. Happy to connect. I think I'm connected with most of you, but if you're not connected, happy to connect with you all. And I also have my own blog site, and you can go visit it. I have been in multiple organizations within Microsoft. So I have spent time in Azure, I've spent time in Office 365, and now I'm in Dynamics 365. So basically, I have a taste of all the cloud services, or all the major cloud services that Microsoft has been involved in. Okay. Um, I want to make this interesting. So I was talking to Faisal and yesterday and 2 days back. We'll we'll make this interesting. And if you can remember something, I'll be asking questions at the end of the presentation, and or you all can type your answers in the IM in the Teams IM chat window, and then we can do a lucky draw later. And we want to give all of you this T-shirt that our president was wearing. James Phillips was wearing at the Microsoft Business Application Summit. So this T-shirt, believe it or not, was designed by the community. Some community member here in US designed this T-shirt, and we decided to get this T-shirt built and made. And James wore it at MBAS, and then we have this T-shirt that we want to give away. So I'll ask 3 questions and see. We'll do a random draw later, and if you are lucky, we'll send you an email and directions on how you can fill this form, and then we'll send you this T-shirt that James was wearing on MBAS. So what I'm trying to say is you better listen to what I'm saying and pay attention. What do I want to talk about? I think communities overall. I'm going to talk about communities, including both Dynamics 365 communities and Power Platform communities. And these worlds might seem like 2 different worlds. Hey, Dynamics 365, Power Platform. But if some of you have been involved technically, you understand now that the underlying platform underneath Dynamics, all the Dynamics app that you might use, like sales, marketing, or finance, or supply chain management, the underlying platform is going to be Power Platform. And when we talk about Power Platform, we're talking about Power BI. I know somebody is on the call here who's interested in Power BI. We have Power Apps that help you build these business apps for citizen developers, or even for traditional developers. We have Power Automate for building flows, and then we have Power Virtual Agents. That was the latest edition back earlier this year. I want to talk about ways where you can get recognized. The more you get involved in these online communities, there are ways to get recognized through badges, through recognition that we do in our online communities within Microsoft. And also I will talk about some ways you can get involved. And then we will also do any Q&A at the end of this presentation. Any questions before I jump in? All right.
No, all good.
Okay. So seems like an eye chart, but just an overview of what communities is. First of all, when I talk about communities, I'm talking about online communities that already exist within Microsoft and are free for all of you to come and join. And it's a great place to connect, learn, and share. That's the slogan I'm going to be using again and again. And if you wanted to get started, you can either go to this URL, community.powerplatform.com. That will take you to a landing page where you can go to any one of the 5 communities we have. There are 4 communities that we have for Power Platform. So we have Power Apps community, we have Power Automate, we have Power BI, and Power Virtual Agents community, and then there's a Dynamics community. So this can be a landing page for you where you can jump off to any of the communities, or you can individually go to these communities that you have over here. So I've given you links here. And just when you talk about communities, I think you need to understand, and I want to concentrate more on your online communities that we are talking about. We have forums. So what are the key things that you should understand that exist in the communities that will help you grow, that will help you learn and understand? I think forums is the main area for you where you can go and ask questions. You can ask questions, you can start discussions. And if you are stuck with the product, there was an issue, let's suppose with Power Apps, you had some issues with Power Apps, with creating an app or publishing an app, or there was an issue with you creating some flow using Power Automate, you can go and ask those questions. And both the community itself and people from Microsoft are there available within these forum communities to help you out. So not only is it a place for you to learn and grow, but it is a place for you to go if you're stuck, if you're troubleshooting an issue and you don't know what to do. This would be the place for you to go and ask questions and get free help. Now, some of the companies do these premier accounts, support accounts, where you can come and get assisted support. So when I say assisted support, I mean picking up the phone or opening a question through any of the support web portals. But if you were a small business, if you are a consultant, you have your own, you are a freelancer, and you were stuck helping some other customer of yours and you wanted to get a quick answer, this would be a great place. Then you have blogs, right? Faisal said he has a blog that he write blog posts on and so on. So there are also official blogs that are available to you. For all these communities, there is an official blog where you can go and read the latest and greatest news. So some of these are technical blogs, some of these are news-based blogs, where every time we release a product or every time we are releasing some key feature, we always go and talk about that in the blogs. So it's good to keep an eye on the blogs to understand, hey, what are the features being released? Okay. It's also good to understand how the features work, because a lot of the product PMs in these product teams, for all the products that we are releasing, what the product PMs do, these program managers that work in the product teams, they go and write about that feature that might have been released. So it's good to keep an eye on the blogs to understand the features or the details of the feature. Then there are product galleries that exist in these online communities. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a tour of these communities real quick, so you understand what things are there. So galleries is another place where some customers or partners who have created some product, or they have created some byproduct by creating any one of our tools or products that we have, you can highlight them. So they are showcased and highlighted in galleries. Events, I know this is one of the events that you all are having, but we can also host events where we can advertise your events. So let's suppose you're going to have a big event that's going to happen maybe in January. I know there's a big event that is going to happen, a FinOps event that's going to happen in UK. It's a community-run event. There is a person called Raz Dynamics. Faisal, you know, might know him. He's organizing that. So we will advertise that event for him. So we want to get as many people as together, because nothing better than an organic community that has people giving their point of view about the product and trying to understand what the issue is and solving problems together. So we can promote your events now. Everything has gone virtual in today's world, just like we are having this event virtually. So it is a great place to advertise your event. Webinars. So webinars is another great content modality that you will find on our communities, in Microsoft communities. A lot of the product PMs, when they release a new product or release a key feature, they will go and do a webinar. Most of them are recorded webinars, but we host them in our community. Now, their initial destination is YouTube, but we can syndicate the webinar right in our community. You can come to our community and you can see the webinar from there. So at the end of the day, what I want to do is make sure that you all are coming to community. And once I give you a demo, you will see that community is that one great place where you can have access to forums, you can have access to blogs, you can look at webinars. We have a lot of deep dive tech talks. You all might be interested in some deep dive tech talk sessions. So there's a team within Dynamics 365 organization called Fast Track Team. Some of you might know about it. Fast Track team works with some key customers where we want to help these key customers basically understand and adopt and start consuming our products very quickly. That's why it's called Fast Track. We want to quickly have them be deployed into our environment and start using our environment for their business operations or whatever business they have. So Fast Track team does a lot of deep tech talks, and all those tech talks are available in the community. And I'll show you that specifically for Dynamics. But there's now a good mix of both Dynamics and Power Platform tech talks that are available. So especially in the Dynamics community, I'll show you how you can get to them. So I gave you a bird's eye view of what a community is. I do want to talk about Dynamics 365 community so I can help you understand what is available here. Now remember, Power Platform and Dynamics are coming and converging. They have been separate, they were worked separately, but now, just so you understand, I don't know if you saw at Ignite some of the sessions or even in MBAS earlier this year, when James Phillips did his keynote, he was talking about Power Platform is sitting on top of Azure. So you have Azure, on top of that you have Power Platform, and all your Dynamics apps then come on top of Power Platform. So right now the communities are different, the products are a little divergent, but at the end of the day and as time goes by, you will need to have a good understanding. If you have lived in the Dynamics world, you will need to have a good understanding of what Power Platform is and what is the connection between Power Platform and Dynamics. Okay, but let's concentrate about on Dynamics 365 community for a while. I have in the deck, and I'll send it to Faisal. There are links to forums directly. So I talked about forums. These are Q&A forums. You can ask a question, and we have most of the questions, just so you know, answered almost within 48 hours. I would say more than 90% of our questions within Dynamics community forums are answered within 48 hours or less. So it's a great place. As I was saying, if you have a question, you have a discussion you want to start, you want to learn about maybe a Dynamics app, you want to learn about customer insights as an example, and you just want to learn if it's going to be useful for my company, if I can use it, you can come and start a discussion there. We have blogs. So we have a lot of community blogs that exist in our community. Another great thing about Dynamics community is that this community has been there for 13 years. Just so you know, there's a lot of great content. So it is a place not only for the applications that we have released, but also for your on-premise products like Dynamics CRM, Dynamics AX, GP Nav, and all that. So a great resource both for your on-premise products and also for your apps. Another key feature that we have released, and this is one of my favorite things, is that we have created a personalization experience for you within Dynamics community. Because there was so much content that existed for 13 years, we wanted to make sure that We made it easy for you when you come to our community to get to this content and only see content that is relevant to you. You know, Dynamics world is big. You have so many apps for unified operations. You have finance, SCM, you have commerce, and then you have a lot of CRM apps that sit there. You have customer service, sales, marketing, and all that. Now, you might just be interested in the finance app. So when you come to community, it might be very overwhelming for you to say, hey, I've come to this place, but I'm only interested in finance and I'm a developer. I just want to look at developer threads in the forums, maybe. I'll give you a quick overview of what my community is, but it's a great area for you to try out. I talked about Tech Talks. Tech Talks are definitely really good for you if you are nose deep in deploying products, the dynamics of our platform products. You definitely want to look at these deep dives, discussions that the Fast Track team has. We have webinars. These are webinars on basically Dynamics products and features. We have events pages where you can see, hey, what other events are going on within the community, within the bigger community, global community. And then there are some special communities that exist that you might not know. There are accelerators. Some of you might have heard about the accelerators that we have released around healthcare, manufacturing, and so on. Those communities also exist. So you can come and ask questions, or you can have discussions about these accelerators that have been released by Microsoft within our communities too. And then if you're in academia, if you are a student or you're an educator, you can come and also get involved in the community. So there's a special area for academic folks too to come and get involved. Any questions? Any quick question I can answer?
So far, I don't see any question, but if you
Okay.
still have any question, please unmute yourself or raise your hand, or
Yeah.
you are open to ask any question.
I'm going to give you a quick demo now. Okay. So I'm going to go to Dynamics community, community.dynamics.com, simple URL. And once you land over here, I want to show you some key areas. I think the most important thing to pay attention to is right over here in our header. In our header, you can get access to all the resources that I have mentioned and much more. So, and we always keep on redesigning the header, but to get to any specific community, sub-community that exists within the bigger Dynamics community, you can come over here and you can say, hey, I'm interested in the finance area of the community. You come over here, this is the landing page for the finance community. So this will show you any bigger events that are coming in, or any events that happen. So if you look over here, we had the launch event. We had Wave 2, our release. We have 2 releases in a year. Most of you will know that. And we had release on October 1st. So James Phillips did a session and he talked about all the changes. You can learn more about the event, or you can watch it if you wanted to. All the key blogs are also over here. For this could be a good start for you to keep an eye on the official blog and any Twitter feed that is coming through. If you wanted to, you can start real quick and ask a question. If you have a question about Dynamics 365 for finance, you can start right here, ask a question. Or another thing you can do is, if you look at the header now, go to Finance Forum. And you will see a feed, automatic feed of the latest questions that have been asked. If a question has been answered, if a question has been suggested as an answer, it would be there. If verified answer is there, it's going to be there. Verified answer, by the way, is where the original poster comes back and says, yes, the reply that somebody gave me was the one that solved my issue. If you wanted, if something was open, like this question has not been answered, you can always answer this. You can reply to it. You can also ask a question from here. So real quick, just to show you the experience, if you click on ask a question, you can put the subject, you can put the description, you can specify your category, what the issue is all about, and there you go. You can put any tags, and that's it. That's how easy it is to ask a question. And I talked about discussions. If you wanted to start a discussion instead of a question, just click on this and you're ready to go and start a discussion within the community. So forums is one area. Blogs, I showed you that. If you are interested in some other resources that I talked about, Tech Talks is available right here under resources. So let's just go to Tech Talks. And these are all the recent Tech Talks or the deep dive Tech Talks that have been done. And you can start them inline right over here. You can start the video. And you can also try to these are categorized by finance, unified operations, finance and operation, or by customer engagement. So there'll be a lot of tech talks that might relate to these specific apps. You can filter them down and see those particular tech talks. Webinars is another thing I talked about. Webinars are your product webinars or webinars that have been done by a lot of product PMs that talk about feature functionality and the webs themselves, about the product themselves rather. You have, here's a webinar, how to get started with Dynamics 365 Field Service. And these are done by the product PMs who created the product. So definitely a great source of information for you to get started there too around webinars. Events, I talked about events where we help you advertise your events. It's right here. Okay. And these are the different events going on. There's a community summit that happened. There is a global business events happening. Some of the MVPs in India are organizing this. This is the other event I was telling you that's happening through UK that RAS Dynamics was organizing. So these are some key events that are happening, and we can put other events for you over here. They're past events. You can filter through past or recorded or current events. So all the events that have happened, and if we have content available, that content would also be accessible through here. I talked about academic community. There are two things. One is an academic community area. The other is a career portal. This was a portal where students can log in or partners can log in. If partners are interested in working with the students, in training them, in hiring them, this would be a great area for partners to go and explore. And Info Center, I think I want to touch on this because this is going to be important for you. If you want to get started, well, a few of the things you should do is just first thing, log in, create your account, then come over here and get started. You can start here. If you say get started, it will tell you exactly what you need to do to get started. There are a bunch of help pages. There's a table of content that will help you to get into understanding what you need to do, get started. And then we do a community news blog. I think this is a really cool place for you to also visit because we're going to tell you all the things that are happening in the community. Every time we publish a tech talk, we put a news blog post there. Every time we are doing something special, like there's a community challenge going on. We have a contest going on where we are giving prizes. If you come into community and take this challenge, go do something, we are putting your name into a lucky draw, and then we are giving you a prize. So there has been three. We are in the fourth week right now. We're going to announce the winner for the fourth week tomorrow. And we are asking people to come and do or perform some activity in the community, and then through a random draw, we are giving out prizes. And the key area which I really want you to understand is my community. Remember, I was telling you that this community has been there for 13 years and there's a lot of content. We want you to come and use what is most relevant to you. So if you come to my community area, this is the personalization area for you. You can come and say, hey, I only want to look at forums. I want to look at all these different content modalities. Look at all that is available to you. So you can say, I want to look at forums. You can say, I want to look at all posts or posts that have not been answered, or you can look at discussions. You can look at suggested answers, all the posts that where an answer has been suggested, or you want to look at all the posts that have verified answers. You can look at blogs. Okay, those are different content modalities. Then you can select your role. So when you log in, we ask you, hey, what is your role? Are you a developer? Are you a functional consultant, IT professional, solution architect? And then you can say, if I said developer, it's going to show me content for myself because you identified yourself as a developer, and it's going to show you content of other people who had told us that they were developers. So threads they might have opened. Okay, I will show you all those threads and you can go and pick your products. I mean, if I am working as a developer, let's see what my role is. If I am a developer and I'm working in supply chain management app, I just want to see supply chain management. What if I am also working in finance app at the same time and I want to see all the threads? You click on apply filter and it's going to render the threads for finance too. Okay. So that was about Dynamics community. Any questions I can take? And remember, all this content is free. There's no restriction. All you need is an account. You can have you can use your Azure AD account, or you can use your Microsoft account. I would probably tell you to use your Azure AD account. By the way, the Dynamics community supports both a simple Microsoft account like Live account, live at live.com, at hotmail.com, or at outlook.com. That's what I'm calling a Microsoft account, or your company's Azure AD account, abc.com, or whatever your company's name is, xyz.com. Both of those are supported, but I would say you should probably log in with your company's Azure AD account. You can always have two accounts if you wanted to. Okay.
Yes, someone actually raised a hand. Uh, it was, I think, Jawar. Jawar, if you still
Yeah,
have
I
question.
can. Fawad, my question is, I have seen a couple of times in community events, Microsoft provide a sort of link or URL. It is basically maybe uh, something I can't remember exact domain, but Microsoft for certain events provide a custom sort of link. So basically, going to that link, people will be redirected to their original application or their original forum or whatever that URL is. Is it something in community anyone can request, or this is something Microsoft decide, or if you have any details, can you please share?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand your question here. For every and I don't know if I understood, but
I
I'll
think,
try to
sorry
answer
to
it.
interrupt. I think he's asking about that tiny URL, aka.ms.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Ali. It is, I think, aka.ms. And yeah, exactly. It is just sort of a tiny URL, and going there, it redirects back to real page or real website. So basically, just it gives a little branding from Microsoft or show a little support from Microsoft. Is it something, I mean, anyone can from community request, or it is Microsoft decide?
oh, got it. Okay, so yeah, that's called a shortened URL, and that is only accessible for Microsoft Web Properties. People internally can use it. So you can use Bitly. bit.ly. You can use Bitly. I think that is that can be used for any private web property that you might have. But if it's a Microsoft web property, internally, I have the option to go create aka.ms, shortened URL, or a tiny URL, whatever you want to call it. We call it shortened URL.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
But I mean, I'm just curious why you were asking about that. I mean, you're just interested in creating shortened URLs?
I think it just give a little sort of in community. It just give a sort of support people. Since that I have seen a couple of community events. The people also have aka.ms and that custom URL for those. So it just give a little maybe sort of support, or since domain from Microsoft is something people know, so maybe it is easier, or
Okay.
maybe a little branding or show of support from Microsoft, if I'm correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm typically what we do is, if you look at what I'm sharing, we try to keep the name of the product, the brand name within the URL as much as we can. So if I'm talking about Dynamics community, it's going to be community.dynamics.com. Okay. And I'll go to this page called it's actually Power Platform, community.powerplatform.com. And can you see the bottom left corner? If this has link to all the communities I'm talking about. Powerbi.com community. So this is community.powerbi.com. This is community.powerautomate.com. This is community.powerapps.com. So we try to keep the product name within the URL itself too. But yeah, we have the option to create shortened URLs if you wanted to. Yeah, Mujib, you have a question.
Thanks, Faisal. Thanks, Fawad, for a nice session. Yeah, I really struggle on events. Um, the events are being advertised at different places. Dynamics community. Sometimes they are advertised on their own website, like D365 Saturdays. And recently, when all those events are happening online, there is a conflict of time all over the place. So there is no central place where you can track that these are the events happening, and those events are being giving a gap, so you can pick up and choose.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I don't know if it's a easy problem to solve, Mujib. Lot of Since COVID-19, a lot of people have gone out and started hosting these events. I've noticed that a lot of MVPs, a lot of Power Platform MVPs and a lot of Dynamics MVPs have gone and spun off their own events that they are doing in their specific geographies. Now, the problem with events and the problem with virtual events is that there's no perfect time. Look at this. I mean, I don't know if you're sitting in Pakistan or sitting in Australia. I'm here in Seattle. It's like 10:13 p.m. And Faisal and Yaver and other folks are sitting in Australia. It's 3 or 4 p.m. or whatever, and it's 10 a.m. in the morning. So I think one of the approaches you guys can take is record these sessions. If you can't attend, record the sessions and then listen to the recording. I'll give you, I personally have an issue even with the meetings. Like sometime I have 3 meetings happening at the same time, and this is not a joke. When there's a conflict like this, you pick your battles. Hey, what battle do you want to fight? What is your highest priority or the problem? You go to that meeting, and typically the other meetings are getting recorded. So if some other meeting was also important, you listen to the recording. Unfortunately, it's a very hard problem to solve. As far as which event to attend, I think that you have to understand, there's no one place. I can tell you that right now. There's no one place where you can find the events. I would say that there are some first party events that Microsoft has, which you will be aware of. If you're in the Dynamics world, we have MBAS, Microsoft Business Application Summit, that typically happens in late, early May or something like that. And then you have Ignite that happens twice a year. Okay, those, Ignite is a good event to attend. So if you were to ask me, hey, what are the key events I should be attending? I would highly recommend MBAS as #1 event, Microsoft Business Application Summit, because that is the key event coming out of Dynamics organization. Dynamics and Power Platform organization, that is our first key event that you should be attending. Second event you should be attending from Microsoft is Ignite. At Ignite, it's all about the IT professionals. So I'm assuming all of you on this call are either developers, functional consultants, or IT pros, IT professionals, and solution architects. So if those are your areas, definitely Ignite is a very important event for you to attend. And there are recordings available that you can always go to. Now, since there's no one place, I would recommend you come to either like other community events, which are not Microsoft run events. You can come to either Dynamics community or Power Apps or Power Automate or Power BI, these communities. And usually we advertise any key events. I'll tell you one event that's happening probably in 2 weeks that I would recommend you should attend is the Power Platform Conference. That's being organized by Microsoft. Now, this was a virtual event that just got born last year and it became very popular. It's coming end of October. And again, this would be an event I would highly recommend too. And it's being run by Microsoft. So any key events that come from us, I think those you understand. You want to hear from the horse's mouth per se, right? You want to see what the product makers are going to say about their products. So you should definitely be attending that. Now, any other learning that you want to do, events like this that Faisal and Yaver and everybody is organizing, these are great ways to come and learn. Sorry, I went off. I hope I answered your question there, Mujib.
No, definitely. No, it was yeah, it's that's the answer. And yeah, it's collaboration. And I think what Faisal is doing, forum like this, we can push that information to other members, and then between that, you will be better off with a short list of events and what is the area we can attend.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely, it's good.
Exactly. And see, this is great. If you had not joined this meeting, look at what we have achieved just in the last 5 minutes. Everybody in this call has understood, hopefully, what are the key events they should be attending if they want to learn. So, and if you had not asked that great question that you asked, Mujib, nobody would have learned. So it's important for people to connect, may it be through these icons and videos virtually, or may it be face to face. Hopefully one day this darn COVID-19 thing will be over. We'll be able to have coffee together, right? Face to face. I'll fly over to Melbourne maybe one of these days and have coffee with you all. I go to Pakistan. I go to Pakistan, by the way, every summer. So hopefully for you all in Pakistan, I can visit you.
So we can have some Pakistani mangoes there back in Pakistan.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Chaunsa. Please don't get me started. Yes. I'm a huge fan of Chaunsa, and so are my kids.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So okay, great question. And sometimes there's no perfect answers, but there are always places to start. And the wonderful thing is that once you go to one event, you will find or you'll have conversations going on from where you will learn where else you want to go. So for some of you Power Platform enthusiasts, I highly recommend the Power Platform conference coming. And if you go to powerapps.com, community.powerapps.com or community.powerautomate.com, you'll see advertisement of that. I'll show you real quick. Maybe I know it was going to get advertised very quickly. Maybe it's already getting advertised there. But let's see. I'm going to jump right back in. And talk about, so I talked about, where's my deck? Oh. Okay. All right. So we talked about Dynamics 365. I want to talk about Power Platform communities, right? So there are 4 communities in Power Platform. You have Power BI, you have Power Apps, you have Power Automate, and you have Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agent recently came into existence in earlier this year, sometime around MBAS. We opened the doors on this community. So if you're working with Power Virtual Agents, I highly recommend you going to this community. Okay. So what is available generally in Power Platform communities? The same thing which was in Dynamics. We have forums, we have galleries, we have blogs, and then product use examples which are in your product use examples which are in the galleries and their dashboards and so on. So let's do a quick
Sorry,
demo.
Fawad, I think your screen has stopped sharing.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. Sorry, thanks for letting me know. How about now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, excellent. So Power Platform communities, you have forums, you have galleries and blog. Those are the 3 things. Now, Dynamics has more content. So remember, it's not apples to apples. Dynamics has been there for 13 years. These communities have been 3 to 4 years, but the main content modalities are there. You have forums and you have blogs. Those are the 2 main things. And then galleries where you can see product examples, and there are lots of videos. So let's look at some of the things that exist in Power Platform communities. I have a window open here. I have all the communities open. So Power Apps, and let's look at, there you go. Power Platform Community Conference. It's October 22nd. Highly recommend this conference for you guys. Okay. Again, there'll be recordings and all that. But if you can attend some sessions, I would do that. So when you go in here, you can sign in. The look and feel is a little different from Dynamics community, but the main content modalities are the same. Content types, modalities, whatever you want to call it. You have forums, you have blogs. You can sign into these communities using your Azure AD account. Okay, and if I scroll down here, these are all the forums. You're using AI Builder, Power Apps, developers, and ISV.
Sorry, Fawad bhai, we cannot see your screen.
Oh, seriously? Is everybody having the same issue?
No, sorry, I can see your screen.
I'm going to cut my video. Alim, do you have a good network connection?
Yes.
I'm sharing. Can anyone else confirm if they can see my screen or not?
I can see.
Yeah, I can see without issue. Yeah,
That's fine. Then
I
you
think
can
it's the
continue.
link.
So Alim, just go to community.powerapps.com. That's what I'm showing. Okay, so you can join the discussion. These are forums and discussions you can have. There's a new area called Better Together. So if you open a question over here in Power Apps, but the question was more related to some flows or to Power Automate, what we do is we can look at the question and we can syndicate that question into Power Automate community for you. It's not automated, but we're trying our best because we want people to have one experience. You can come to either Power Automate community or Power Apps community and ask a question that might be related to one of the other Power Platform technologies or stacks, but you asked over here, but the question would also show up in the other community. Somebody answers, the answer would also show up here where you originally posted. So that option is available. Now, if you want to read any of the Power Platform blogs, look, this is a great start, news and announcements. If you want to learn the latest and greatest things, I was telling you, go to the blog. That's the best way. We are announcing most of our product features through the blog. Another thing that happens twice a year, if you are new to Dynamics and Power Platform world, we do 2 events every year. We call it Wave 1 and Wave 2. These are events where we have now made it a predictable way of letting you guys know what products are coming for the next 6 months. So Wave 1 happens sometime in March, February, March. Wave 2 happens, or it just happened, that October 1st launch event, the virtual launch event where James Phillips talked about different products and services coming, that was part of Wave 2. So there are 2 waves of product releases, predictable product releases that are happening that you can learn about. All right. And in our community, look at this Microsoft Business Applications launch event. This is the one over here. We also highlighted it in Dynamics community. So news blogs are a great place. And then video galleries. There are so many samples. They're app samples. So if you are a new Power Apps developer, you can go and look at app samples. I'm just going to open it in a new tab. I mean, all kinds of samples available to you. Kids Zone, we have webinars and video galleries. You can look at webinars. You have emergency response gallery with COVID happening. There have been some apps that have been created in Power Apps and all that. And the great thing is, guess what? It's all free. All these resources, and you can access them just with a simple account. You have issues, we have community support. You can learn about using the Power Apps community. You can give us feedback. Let's look at Power Automate community. I have it open here, community.powerautomate.com. Same kind of structure and look and feel you will have. You have community news on the top. Then you have forums and discussion boards here. You have share and chat. You have Better Together thing that I talked about. You have videos galleries, again, very similar to Power Apps. Ideas, by the way, ideas is where you can ask for feature request or DCR, design change request to our product. So you can go in there and say, hey, this key feature is probably missing. Can you add this feature to the product? So that's where you can give us ideas. Local user groups, read and share, blogs, community support, same look and feel. So all the Power Platform communities look one way, and then Dynamics community is a little different. But when you look at the underlying content that is available to you, it's the same. Forums, blogs, videos, webinars, galleries, it's all the same. And same thing, I'm not going to go through it. It'll be too much. Almost getting to 10:30 here, but Power BI community is the same structure, community.powerbi.com. And all these links were on one of those slides that I had before. All right. Let me go back to my presentation here. Okay, so I gave you a demo. There's some direct links. This is something all of you will be interested in. You know, we all of us work hard. Somehow we want to be recognized, right? Social acceptance. We are social creatures, right? We want acceptance in some way. So there's a lot of ways you can get recognized for the work you do. And most of the links and things I've shown you here are for Dynamics community, but there are badges and points. So I want to caveat this slide. There are badges and points that are given to you on Power Platform communities too. Doesn't matter when I say Power Platform communities, I'm talking about Power Apps, Automate, virtual agents, and Power BI. There's badges and there are different recognition programs. But on Dynamics, I'm from the Dynamics world, although as I said, worlds are converging for us, but there is a leaderboard on Dynamics community. You can become a moderator, and thank you, Yawar, for volunteering to help us as a moderator in the community. You can become a moderator in our community. And then we have the most coveted award that we give every 3 months. Every quarter, we have this award called Microsoft Community Contributor. We look at your overall help that you have provided. You were busy writing blogs. You were helping people with answering questions in the forums. And then what we will do is we will give you this award. So this is that one award that comes from Dynamics community. We call it MCC. Think of this as a super user award that is given to you every 4 months. We have around 40 or so super users in Dynamics community, but that doesn't mean we can't have 50. So I invite all of you, I rather challenge all of you to come and get involved and become a Dynamics community super user. We do a lot of recognition. So when it comes to recognition, we have a community spotlight. So every month we look at a key contributor who's making a difference in the community, in Dynamics community. And this month it was Konica Dixit. She's based in Netherlands. We recognized her. And every month, and you can go to Dynamics community, and if you click on community spotlight page, it'll be Konica's highlight in the top right on our homepage, community.dynamics.com. You'll be able to see who were the community spotlights in the previous months. There are people like Andre. I don't know, some of you might know Andre. He's an MVP. He's from Netherlands. He has been a spotlight. There's Dr. Ludwig Reinhardt. He is in finance and operations. He has been a spotlight. So there's great opportunity to be recognized. And then there are community stars, depending on how much contribution you have. This is yet another place to recognize all the great work and the hard work you can come and do, and which will be recognized in our communities. So that the top 10 people who have answered the most questions or been involved in most discussions and all that. So there's that opportunity. Then we have another contest. We run a lot of these contests. There are two contests we have going right now. One is the weekly challenge, and the second is the forums problem solver. And again, we are sending swag. We recognize you on the community, but we also send you swag. We send you some kind of branded Microsoft merchandise just to say thank you for helping us out and being involved in the community. So a lot of opportunity for you all to come and get engaged and connect, learn, and share. So my ask of all of you, if you haven't done this already, is come and sign up. Free, no fee. This is all free. Answer forum questions, host or syndicate your blog. So this is specifically for Dynamics. If you have a blog that you are hosting somewhere on your own WordPress site and you wanted to syndicate that, we can syndicate your blog to our community and it'll show up in our community. If you want to start a new blog and you want to blog, you're welcome. We'll go ahead and host a blog for you in our community. And then there are some specific social media hashtags you can use. The one that I usually use when I do posts on LinkedIn or anywhere else, because I'm coming from the Dynamics world, is MSDyn365 community. Please use this hashtag because then we know that you're using one of the hashtags that we are keeping a close eye on. There are a bunch of Twitter handles that you might be interested in. You have MSFT Dynamics 365. This is the official Microsoft Twitter account. Then you have MS PowerPlat. This is the Power Platform Twitter handle. Then there's one for Power Apps and Automate. So you can get into all of those. Just real quick, let me show you. I talked about a few things. Community news. I'm going to show you again. I'm back in Dynamics community. If you are interested in leaderboards, you can look at leaderboards through here under Info Center. You can view badges. You can remember I talked about MCC, Microsoft Community Contributor. You can find more information over here about it, how to become a top contributor. I talked about either syndicating your blog or hosting a blog right here. Okay, you want to give us feedback? You can come over here. You want to jump off to any of the other communities from Dynamics community? We also give you access here. Just want to read general news, what's happening in the community. As an example, in Dynamics community, I talked about a contest where we are giving you a little challenge and then we are doing a random drawing. So you can do that over here. I think that is it from my side. Time for some questions. I'll take your questions and then I'm going to ask questions. Faisal, you are going to save the chat. Where's my chat? How do I?
Yep.
How come I can't see the chat?
If you click onto you will see the right on top right. You'll see some chat icon.
I see participants. That's okay. I can't see the chat. Did you restrict it by any chance?
Not sure. I just messaged. Do you see my message into a chat window?
No. Interesting.
No, we don't have that option. We only have raise hand and participants.
Okay. Yeah, apologies. I may have, because Teams may have just set up it automatically. I just signed up a new account from this Teams account. So it may have just,
Interesting.
yeah, I
Interesting.
didn't.
Okay. Okay. So let's see how we can do this. I can ask a question. And what I want to do is we'll send for people who join late. So I said I'll have 3 giveaways. I'm giving away 3 T-shirts that James Phillips was wearing on Microsoft Business Application Summit. That T-shirt was designed by. Let me share my screen real quick. This is the T-shirt. So I'm going to give away 3 T-shirts, and we'll mail it to you. We'll give you instructions, but we're trying to. Okay. Faisal, how can we do this? Can people email you? Do they know your email address? Or because if you can send the answer to Faisal in the next half an hour, then I'll take all the names. We'll do a lucky draw, and we'll let you know who got those 3 answers right, or whoever the winner is. How about that? Faisal does.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask question for my presentation. Okay, simple question. How many communities are there for Dynamics and Power Platform together? Can you all just email this to Faisal? Faisal, you'll have to give me names for all the 3 questions. I'll do a random picking on my side. I'm not going to do any favorites, and both you and Yawer are not eligible for this, unfortunately. I'll send you other T-shirts, but not as a part of this contest.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was one question. And the second question is, what is the name of that area where you can set up personalization filters in Dynamics community? That's the second question. So there is an area in Dynamics community where you can set up a personalization experience where you can see content that only relates to you. You can set your, you can say, hey, this is my role. I want to see content from a specific role or for a specific app. What is the name of that area? And the third question is, what is the name of that top contributor role that you can become if you get involved in Dynamics community? I gave you a name. I also showed you where to find this. There was something called how to become a top contributor. So those are the 3 questions. The probability, how many people do we have? Faisal, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people, 3 questions, pretty much each one of you have the probability of winning, almost 50% probability. So send the answers of those 3 questions, please, to Faisal. And then we will do tomorrow morning. I'll do the random drawing, and 3 of you will be given instructions on how you can win a t-shirt. It'll be instructions. We'll have you fill a form where you'll put your address and all that, and then we'll ship you the t-shirt at that address. Okay. Okay. So you got the questions? How many communities exist for Dynamics and Power Platform? Second was, what was the name of that area where you can do personalization experience? And the third was, what is the name of that contributor role, what we call as top contributor or super user? Okay.
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Any questions I can take about my presentation? I'm getting sleepy and tired now, so I gotta go.
I don't see any further questions as of now.
Wonderful.
So I believe so you have answered all the questions. I'll take this way. So
okay.
And I would say again, thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you, Faisal.
Yeah, this
thank
was
you very
really
much for great. Just one last thing. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciated you setting up this user group. We got to get people connected, find opportunities to learn and share and grow ourselves professionally. And this is a wonderful endeavor that you and Yaver have put together. So thank you. And we'll see you all. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Fawad. Thanks, everyone.
Everyone, bye.
Bye.